combat operations were initiated. We said this from the very beginning when we announced the ceasefire. We have always had a positive attitude toward ceasefires, which is why we took this initiative, especially since this is about the holy Easter days. This is a holiday for all Christians. So it happened that in these days it is for Catholics, Protestants, and Orthodox Christians. That's why we have always said that we are positively inclined toward any peace initiatives. We hope that the representatives of the Kyiv regime will treat it the same way. Although we saw the initial reaction, I think everyone noticed that. A statement was published saying that our proposal was viewed as a game with the fates and lives of people, and so on. Apparently, someone smarter advised them, most likely foreign curators, not to reject such initiatives. It's a test position for the Kyiv regime. They quickly agreed, and now we see that the Kyiv regime is trying to seize the initiative and talk about expanding both the time frame and the range of targets. But we must think this through carefully, evaluate everything, and look at the results. I said this at the very beginning when I met with the Chief of the General Staff. We'll see what kind of experience will come from the announcement of the Easter ceasefire. What does it show? Overall, we are seeing a reduction in enemy combat activity. That's true. These are the assessments, including those from the commanders of our groups. But still, there were nearly 5,000 violations, 4,900. Of those, 6,000 attacks, 6 direct attacks, and 90 attempts at strikes, including aircraft-type drones. There were, I believe, around 1,400 artillery shellings. But in general, there was a noticeable reduction in activity. We welcome that and are ready to look to the future. As for the proposal not to strike civilian infrastructure, this needs to be examined carefully. For example, everyone knows about the strike by our armed forces on the Sumy University. Is that a civilian object or not? Yes, it is a civilian institution, but there was a ceremony held there honoring those who committed crimes in the Kursk region. Also, there were nationalist units present. These are the people we consider criminals who must receive the punishment they deserve for what they did in the border regions, including Kursk. And they received that punishment. This was done precisely to punish them. So, is it a civilian object or not? The regime uses these civilian facilities. For example, just a few days ago in the Odessa region, a strike was carried out by our armed forces. It was a small settlement in the Odessa region, about 82 kilometers from Odessa, I believe. And what of it? This was an agricultural facility, a hangar of an agricultural enterprise. But Kyiv authorities, together with foreign curators and assistants, had organized or attempted to organize not only production but also testing. That's why the strike was carried out. So, was it a civilian facility or not? It was civilian, but it was used for military purposes. Or take a restaurant where they hold meetings, the kind of people who deserve the harshest punishment for their crimes. Such things have happened too: meetings, gatherings, and briefings held in a restaurant. They celebrate something, drink vodka, and so on. And that place was hit too. Is that a civilian object? Yes, but the purpose was military. All of this needs to be sorted out. This is a subject for thorough investigation, maybe even in a bilateral format. We don't rule out the possibility of a dialogue. So we will analyze all of this and make the appropriate decisions for the future. We met with him many times. We respected each other. He put forward various initiatives. You may remember, you already sent a telegram of condolences? But maybe say a few more words about this person? Yes, you're right. He was someone who held a very positive attitude toward Russia. That I can say for certain. We met in person several times and maintained contact through various channels. Let me emphasize once again. He had a very positive attitude toward Russia, and we will remember that. As for the Pope passing away during the Easter period, I don't know how it is among Catholics, but among Orthodox Christians, there is a traditional belief that if God calls someone to him during the Easter season, it is a special sign. A sign that the person lived their life not in vain, did much good for others, and God calls him to himself precisely during these holy Easter days. So I believe that's what happened, considering how much the Pope did not only for his own congregation but for the world as a whole. We express our deepest condolences to the entire Christian world, and first and foremost, of course, to the Catholics. European officials are now threatening European leaders for visiting Moscow on May 9th. To make threats, one must have the necessary tools to carry them out. And secondly, they must be willing to actually use those tools. If some European officials, I don't know if the people behind them have the capacity. If their backing consists of countries with only 1 to 1.3 million people, and they're calling to fight until the last Ukrainian, then it raises questions. Are they sincere? Are they in a sound state of mind when proposing such things? I believe those who are planning to come to Russia, they have far more courage than those who hide behind someone else's back and try to threaten others. Especially in this case, threatening those who plan to honor the historic contributions of people who gave their lives in the fight against Nazism. Thank you very much.